Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It has been quite a while since I posted a video. I took a little break and I'm going to talk more about that later and kind of explain why I've been gone. But yeah, I think I don't know, has it been like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks since I posted? So I have not been filming a majority of the last leg of this trip. I kind of just decided I don't want to film. I just want to take a break. I don't want to have to worry about it and I need a break. So I stopped filming and now we are on the last week of our trip. We are currently a little bit outside of Dallas, Texas. We're staying with one of our lovely subscribers. She actually reached out via Instagram and offered us her guest room, so that has been so amazing. So thank you, Shelby, again for hosting us. It has been, I mean, we've only been here one night. We got here last night, but we're gonna stay another 2 nights, I think. And honestly, Kyle and I have both just reached a point where we are tired and we are kind of over being on this very long road trip. So we are really excited to, I guess, get settled in and not have to drive anymore for the few weeks leading up to when we move. And if you guys, sorry if this is shaking a little bit, you guys are currently balancing on a book on a bed. So, sorry. But if you guys didn't know, we announced where we're moving on the Kian and Kyle channel, and I'll tell you guys here if you want more of an explanation, definitely go watch that video. But we are moving to Maui, Hawaii, which is really exciting but also very nerve-wracking and sad at the same time because yeah, it's just a really bad time to move there. So I'm doing my best to trust God that he's calling us there for a reason and his timing is perfect. But yeah, our flight leaves October 26th, so after we leave Texas we're gonna drive back to Arizona, empty out our car, and then we have to drive it to California to ship it. It takes about 3 weeks, I think, to ship a car to Hawaii. So we're gonna drop off our car because we want it there as soon as we arrive, and because the rental car situation there is crazy. So we'll save money by shipping it early, and then from there we're either gonna go to Vegas for a little bit to stay with a friend or go to Arizona and stay with friends there. But basically the next 3 weeks after we drop off our car will be kind of in between like 1 or 2 places, and it'll be more low-key, no more driving and traveling. So very, very excited for that and just trying to soak in the last few days on our road trip. I can't believe it's gonna be over in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. We're gonna be in Arizona, and I guess we do have one more drive to California, but anyway, I'm very excited. I did want to say thank you to today's sponsor, which is Skillshare. You guys know I've worked with them a ton of times and I've used them for years to take classes. If you guys don't know what Skillshare is, it is an online learning platform. They have thousands of classes in so many different areas such as design, investing, business, photography. So I'm currently taking a class on Skillshare called Design for Renters, and this is something that has been really helpful for me to do on the road to get me, I don't know, like I really miss being a homemaker and I just can't do homemaking living out of a car. I just feel like I'm living in, oh my gosh, you know what I feel like? I feel like I'm living in like the hoarder show, because our car is packed to the brim, so I literally feel like I'm living like a hoarder and it's not good for my mental health. So something that I started to do to help me feel more homemaking, because that's something I really love to do, is like design and decorating. I started creating like a Pinterest board to start saving ideas for our future place, even though I have no idea what it's gonna look like, but just like for fun, starting to brainstorm different aesthetic ideas. Sorry if you guys can hear the AC just came on. So that's something I've been doing, and to go along with that, I've been taking the Skillshare class, and it's giving me some ideas for renters, because obviously we are probably going to rent when we get there, so just having some new creative ideas for it. So some of the inspo I got was swapping out hardware, which I never thought to do at places we rent, so that is a good idea. Another idea she had was changing up the light fixtures by, well, I always replace light bulbs, especially if it's like very yellow lighting. I like to replace those, but I never thought to like actually change the fixtures or install kind of like sconces or hanging lights that are like electrical. So that's another idea I got from the course. So I've been loving just taking these courses to get my homemaking, interior design juices flowing. So that has been really fun. And if you guys are interested in trying Skillshare, they are offering a free trial to the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description. So if you want a free 1-month trial of Skillshare, definitely go use that link, because you will get one. So that's great. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this portion of the video. I am currently waiting for Kyle to get back with our Cane's chicken. Have you guys tried Raising Cane's? I feel like I've never eaten so much chicken, like chicken tenders, in my life since being on this road trip. But I want to talk to you guys about where I've been and why I took a break from YouTube. I don't know if you guys remember my last video. My mental health was just at an all-time low. I was feeling very depressed with no idea why, and it was very frustrating because I don't know, it's like, it's frustrating when you don't even have a reason to why you're feeling depressed. It's not like anything bad was happening in my life. I have an amazing husband, a beautiful dog, we are going on this adventure. Obviously it is stressful, and there's no like structure or routine, but that's really the biggest complaint I had. So to feel so mentally low and drained and depressed, it got me even more frustrated because I had no idea why I felt that way. When we got to Philly, I started to realize that this was maybe a spiritual thing that was starting to happen. I felt like it was some kind of spiritual oppression that was happening, because I started being very resistant to anything to do with church. I didn't want to go to the worship night. I didn't want to talk about church. I didn't even want to talk about God. I didn't want to do any of those things. And I think that is when it became clear to me, because my core values, I knew the truth, and I knew I loved Jesus, and I knew I loved God, but I don't know, just this crazy spiritual warfare started happening where I was resisting all of those things. So that's kind of why I came to the conclusion that maybe what was happening was more of a spiritual oppression than like straight up depression. So yeah, I started looking into it. Somebody commented saying I had a demon, so that was very nice of you to say. I have no idea if I had a demon, and I don't even know how all that stuff works, but I did really feel like this was some kind of spiritual attack. So we went to a worship night, and I think a really important thing that we can do when we're struggling is be honest about it and ask for help and prayer. One of my favorite verses is James 5:16, I believe, and it says, "Confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so you will be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." So when I was at the worship night, I told, I was just like, I just feel like I'm being spiritually oppressed right now, and please help me. And I was just like broken. I just felt so broken and helpless. And all of them were very strong believers, and I think I had like I think there was like at least 10 people there, but they were all praying that the suppression would leave me, and it did. Within a few days, I felt so much lighter. The depression went away, and something that our friend's mom, she actually pulled me aside in the bathroom, and she was just speaking a lot of life over me, and something she said was, like, how are you feeling now? It had been a couple days, and I was like, oh, like, I'm okay, still feeling it a little bit. She's like, well, sometimes you really just need to declare over yourself that you believe and have faith that that season is over, that you are stepping into freedom. And so with that encouragement, I moved forward from the oppression. I felt something spiritually was lifted, and then after that I had to mentally choose to walk out in faith that this was going to be a new season, and that one was over, and this oppression was over. And between the two of those things, I don't know, it just switched. Something switched, and I feel so much better now, so much lighter. I've had way more fun. I've been more goofy, more like my true self. So that has been such an amazing thing. And the reason why I kind of took time off from YouTube was last month I had so many collaborations. That is the most collaborations I've ever done in a month. Sometimes I had 1 to 2 a week, which is seriously crazy trying to do that whilst also traveling and being exhausted and not having easy access to Wi-Fi or working, like a place to work and stuff. So last month was just so crazy for me that by the end of it, I was so exhausted. One, because I felt depressed, and on the other hand, I literally was like working so much. And I listened to this podcast, well, 2 things. I watched the D'Amelio show on Hulu. I don't really follow them or anything, but I was very curious to see what it was like. And it was so heartbreaking to see kind of like the mental toll being on social media has had on them. And I could relate to a lot of things that they were saying on a much smaller scale. Obviously, for the most part, my audience is very loving and supportive, but there are some, random people who come on who say hurtful things, but I really felt for them. And yeah, I highly recommend you guys watch it. And then I also listened to this podcast. It was like a YouTube video, and it popped up and it said like, Dear Emma Chamberlain, you have changed, or something. Really good title. So I clicked on it, and it ended up being this podcast of these 2 guys kind of dissecting what it might be like to be Emma Chamberlain and kind of like the pressures of being on YouTube. And I related to so many things that they said, and I'm going to link it in the description. I highly recommend you guys go watch it. And it talks just about how when you're a YouTuber, essentially, if you're creating lifestyle content, then you are selling yourself. You are the product. Hi.
Hello. Hey, buddy.
Hubby is here with the canes, the goods.
It's so hot outside.
Oh, gosh. So essentially they're saying, as a YouTuber doing lifestyle content, you are the product. So your personality is basically what you're selling to people, your audience, and that can take a major toll on you, especially if you're not in a good place mentally. So yeah, watching that video as well really helped me feel more understood and seen, and helped me digest kind of why this can be hard sometimes. So that was very eye-opening and helpful as well. And I think just having such a busy month of work, I really just needed some time to not put any pressure on myself to film or to sell myself, I mean, obviously I'm just me. I'm being as genuine as possible on YouTube, and it's sometimes really hard to do when you're not feeling good. So yeah, I guess that's a little bit why I have been away, and I think it was just much needed, and I'm really glad I took that break. And now filming, I feel happy again and excited to be filming again. So yeah, that is the 411, the little life update. But yeah, let's see, what have we been up to? We left Philadelphia. We stayed with Kyle's parents for like 10 days, which was really nice. And then we drove to Delaware. We drove to the Outer Banks, which was really cool. We took a ferry to an island called Ocracoke, I believe, and that was really cool. We also got attacked by gnats. Oh my gosh. The day we spent on the island, we got in our tent and there was hundreds and hundreds of these little tiny gnats. We didn't know that they bit, but we literally, I'm sorry, but we slaughtered some gnats. We were going in, because it was like disgusting because they were so small they could get through the net of the tent. It was just so bad. We spent the night there and I found out that these gnats bite, and the bites don't show up typically for 1 to 3 days. So literally after we left, we had so many bug bites. They were so itchy. Like at one point I had like 6 just in my forehead alone, and there were just all these little bites everywhere. So that was probably the low of the trip so far, is all the bug bites. But I would say the high was going to Florida. So we went and stayed on Anna Marie Island, and we got a really pretty Airbnb for two nights, and that was just so nice. That was definitely the high of this past couple weeks. It felt so good to be in a beautiful and bright and well decorated home, and I just miss it so much, and I cannot wait to get settled and be able to have our own place and our own home. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and it's crazy just the shift in your mental health when you are somewhere that inspires you and is clean and aesthetic. It sounds weird, but I don't know, it just shifted. So that was really fun to stay there. So that is the update. That's where we are now. We are in Dallas, like I said, and yeah, I think tomorrow or later today I'll start another vlog so you guys can kind of see what we were up to in Texas. You guys have given me a ton of suggestions on Instagram, so I'm super excited to go look through all of them, and I'm hoping to meet some of you guys. I reached out to see if like any of the churches have events on Wednesday nights, because we have not been going to church on the road trip. Like, we thought we were going to be going to a different church every Sunday, and we just have not. I think we've gone to church maybe once or twice this whole road trip. Just crazy. A lot of expectations were not met. So yeah. In other fun news, Kyle and I have been talking about starting a podcast together. So I really want to hear from you guys. If we start a podcast, what kind of things would you want us to talk about on it? So let me know that in the comments, and I love you guys. Thank you for all of your support, and thank you for all of your prayer, because I know you guys have been praying for me and my mental health, and it has made a difference. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and I love you guys, but remember, Jesus loves you more.